You've got all the weak, pathetic, intelligent men,
Right.
with little specks on and greasy hair,
Yep.
and curtains.
Stewart.
Like, okay, who's at the very top?
All right, so these House of Parliament meetings are like a game show. People all tune in, watch somebody chat a load of wass. They get no work done at all.
And they just cheer, like, yes,
Yeah.
very point, you're back. Just like, what? Yeah, everyone is in crippling health, in poverty, slaving away, depressed, living off medication.
Save yourself, save your family, then save society, and then save the world. It's got to go in that order.
Yeah. Welcome to the OB&JT show with me, Ricky Gervais, and the little round-headed buffoon. No, okay, let's start the video. All right. This coffee seems to be lacking in milk.
Yeah. Okay. So was the carton. The carton was lacking in milk.
All right. Anyway. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
All right.
Point.
Action.
This is basically a overview of how we think society is run, in our opinion.
This was Ollie's idea, by the way. So you kick it off.
How I think society is run. Okay. So everything is based around currency.
Okay.
Right. And if we go back to hunter-gatherer times, right?
Yep.
Let's say we're both tribe leaders of different tribes.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be the ultimate leader because this burning desire in every man's heart is I want to just control everything. Yeah. So I'm like, I look at JT's tribe and I'm like, and you know what? I reckon my tribe would have JT's tribe. Obviously, as a man who wants to conquer, we go slaughter all of JT's male tribe members and then impregnate all his female tribe members. All right.
You're going to stay with me. That makes sense.
That's basically what used to happen.
That's not a very plausible thing to do. Like, obviously, that's what you do.
Yeah, obviously. That is just what everyone does, you know what I mean? Anyway, modern society begins to set in, and so like all these empires get built. The same principle still applies. There's still going to be people who want complete control of everything. How do they do that? They do it through currency and not being known. Like, if they're known, there's going to be tribe leaders or empire leaders that are going to want to slaughter them because they know they're going to get control over them, right?
How do they impregnate the women with currency?
Sharp. I think that's basically how you impregnate women is you have money.
Yeah.
True, isn't it?
Yeah, it is true. Okay, well, that's a very, very astute point you made there. So, if your vehicle to impregnate women is currency, what does that correlate back to when currency didn't exist? What was the vehicle to impregnate women before? Obviously, farming
and hunting.
It was killing the men.
Well, yeah, but
because that's what you had to do.
Yeah, that's the more protection sort of thing. But the providing sort of thing was you own a farm or you go out hunting and provide food. You know what I mean? Because you haven't provided money because money don't exist yet. And then, this is why money was invented, because you've got all the weak, pathetic, intelligent men, right, with little specks on and greasy hair, and curtains.
Stewart.
Yeah. Let's go with Stewart. Right. And you've got all the extremely strong tribe leaders, and the little nerds, they've had enough. They're like, this just isn't fair. Like, I get no bitches. Right. And they think, we can't slaughter all the tribe leaders because they'll just beat the shit out of us. So they invented currency. They can't provide food because they can't go out hunting, but they can provide some. Okay, I'm just going down a shit fucking.
No, I see what you're saying. You're saying that because they're not physically capable to go kill the cow, they instead create this currency where they can go cut the leaf off a tree
and sell it
and trade it for cow. And they'll be like, honey, I got you some cow. Wow.
Exactly that. And that is how modern society is so weak, because it's not about strength or violence capability anymore.
Yeah.
It's about, honey, I brought home
Money.
Money, yeah.
Your ability to create money.
Yeah.
And you can create money through the lowest skilled ways, lowest moral ways as well.
Yeah, the most tragic, sad little sat on a computer like sending emails for like £10 an hour.
Like being a fucking
Or even
accountant.
like £100 an hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The most
yeah, yeah, yeah.
tragic beta jobs are out there paying absolute dosh.
Yeah.
So now all these little rats, they're getting all the bitches. And that is also why you get such genetically malfunctioning human beings these days. That's a horrible thing to say. But because now all these rich people who have extremely shit genetics are actually, you know, they're spreading their seed because they have money.
Yeah.
So then you just get some like...
With all the fit bitches as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, whereas it used to be the strongest, most alpha male impregnated all the bitches, all the fit bitches, and they produced genetically supreme offspring. Right?
I don't
but
know.
Now there's like a blend, a horrible blend.
Yeah, there's an element of blend, but I also think Stuart,
An element of blend.
Stuart ain't gonna get 5 fit bitches.
Right, yeah.
He's just not. You can't. Money doesn't mask.
Nah, it does though.
Do you think?
Yeah, if he was like a billionaire, he had a yacht,
Yeah, I guess so.
he gets what the fuck he wants.
Yeah, I guess so.
Don't matter.
Yeah, so that is the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Humanity would be better off if we stopped using this barter system where somebody can go create farming as an Excel and provide the same thing that somebody who goes and fights crocodiles.
But it's all about the necessity for progress in the human race, right? At early stages of human development or evolution, let's say, the necessity was to survive, right? And the stronger the males were, the better survival rates, right?
Yeah.
Now that necessity ain't there because we can survive easily. But the necessity is to progress in technological advancements with AI and shit. So now the guys who get all the praise and all the bitches are little fucking gorms who work on AI and work at SpaceX and that.
They low-key threw everyone else under the bus. Just
Yeah.
think about all the tradies. They are hand capable, stronger normally. Not to stereotype, but like that's just how it goes. Scaffolders, bro. If you were to put them up against a crocodile versus that guy who created Ethereum, hey, come on.
Yeah, I know.
So the finance bros were like, right, if we leverage this technology, we can suppress the true masculine crocodile fighters.
Yeah.
Because we're just going to blow them out of the water because now the finance industry is worth like, God, maybe 3, 4, 5 times the amount of the trades industry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
For what? Why? What does finance even do? Make sure this currency, which was created to benefit them, moves around better and makes them more rich.
Mm-hmm.
Makes no sense.
Yeah. So basically what money has done is removed the necessity for genetic advancement. Right? What we perceive as genetically is no longer required, but we still have like a hormonal attraction to those genetics, even though they're just not that useful anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's in terms of the biological side of society. We've sort of, we've gone through that. How about we talk about the hierarchy of how societies ran?
Okay.
In your opinion, well, how would you see that?
I see finance at the top because
at the very top. Like, okay, who's at the very top?
All right. So we had this conversation over Nando's, didn't we? And one of our good friends, Gabriel,
Man like Gabe and
painted what I believe to be a very accurate picture of who's at the top. He suggests that there are, if you were to get everybody, the top 20 people with the most power in the world, top 50 or top 100 into one room, it wouldn't look like a secret clan of members congregating with each other in the dark. It would look like leaders of industries, countries, geopolitical parties,
Operations.
and corporations. That's what it would look like. And within that room, there are secret contracts, secret deals, secret partnerships that they make to try benefit each other. And they're all competing for that vacuum of power. They're not all on the exact same team, so they can't have complete world domination. There's still some conflict of interest. That's what Gabe put. And I personally think that is a very plausible way of how it looks up top.
Yeah, I also agree with that. But then there's also, obviously, these are all theories because we can't know about the most powerful people in the world, because if we did, we'd want to kill them and then they'd be overthrown. We can't know about who they are.
No.
But the people who, what I personally think is exactly like that, except there are a group of set individuals which actually do have the final. Where'd I get up to?
What I think about these individuals.
I do think the camera keeps cutting out, right? Just so you wonder if you're wondering why it keeps cutting. I think there are a group of individuals that have the final say over all these corporations which control basically how the world runs in terms of financial and just in every way. They basically do now. Right. So you've got, me personally, I think there is an elite group who can sort of dictate how these corporations affect how the world is run. And it sort of trickles down to us peasants right at the bottom who just work 9 to 5s and just are none the wiser. We just get told what to do like little slaves, get paid a wage, and then can barely afford to live. That's basically how it works, right? But how does this system, like what is the actual hierarchy? This is what I believe.
Okay.
The elite group of individuals that nobody knows about at the top. Massive corporations which have been built up from small businesses which have slowly accumulated other businesses into their
conglomerate.
Yeah. And then become so big that they have, for example, can you bank with Virgin? Okay, that's a great example. So Virgin, right? It was was it originally not trains? It was
media,
yeah. It was a media company. And then they just started taking over other areas of society.
Which they weren't specialised in.
Exactly, because they have the money to do so. So eventually you can now bank with them. You can literally use them as a bank, right?
Or broadband or gym or travel.
Yeah. So these corporations, I don't think, are the next level. You've got banks. So let's say what do you call it? Like the World Bank, right?
Yeah.
They would obviously trade. What?
Yeah, they're
gonna right. Well, that's what I'm calling it, all right?
No, yeah, that's exactly what it's called.
Oh, so you just think that's funny, do you?
Well, it's because the way you didn't know that it was called that. You were just like, okay. Wait, World Bank? There must be a World Bank.
World Bank? Yeah, the World Bank. So they're obviously giving out loans to international banks and then making money on the interest, which are also giving out loans to smaller banks, which are doing the same to even smaller banks, which are doing the same to corporations, which are doing, well, and also doing the same to people who like take out mortgage loans, for example, and then they make profit off that. And it all just goes up to the people who just print money, right? Mm-hmm. That's basically how it's working, right? In my head.
Okay.
What do you think?
I don't think the world is that globalized. I believe that
really low down.
The world segregates into English-speaking countries, mainland Europe, like Italy, Spain, Middle Europe,
yeah,
Eastern Europe, like the more Soviet countries. Russia are off by themselves. North Korea are off by themselves.
China.
Fuck knows what happens in Asia. Not a Scooby, bro. Yeah. Thailand, China, India, not a Scooby.
Well, there's definitely a large spectrum, a big range of wealth in terms of countries in Asia, isn't there? There's like
yeah.
Peak, which is like China, and then you've got like Indonesia, which is like miles behind.
Yeah.
But personally, I believe, yes, there was always that separation of those sort of countries, like, I don't know, Russia, China, etc. And then there was just the British Empire which was fucking massive.
Mm.
You know what's really interesting as well? I've recently come back from Fiji, and the respect that Fijians have for English people is crazy. Like, do you not think that's a bit crazy?
Yeah.
I think it's just trickled down from when the British Empire did own Fiji. And also you've got the British flag in their flag, in Australia's flag.
Yeah.
Just like, we got roots.
I know, bro. And I don't know what happened.
But if you think about this as well, all that wealth and power of that British Empire once existed. And now it's all in a tiny, small little country. All of that wealth and power is all in this tiny little island.
That's mad.
All of what was once the sun never sets on the British Empire is now on this shit tiny little island with shit weather. But also, I feel like we thought, okay, where's the most ideal place on the planet to base all of our British citizens?
Yeah.
And I come up with here for some reason. I feel like because we never get earthquakes.
Yeah, it is pretty
We never-
safe.
yeah,
Difficult to attack the UK as well,
yeah.
because we're an island.
Because we got fucking allies
Yeah,
across the
yeah.
whole world. Like everyone's like rooting for the UK, bro.
Yeah,
That's
you
how
sidetrack him. You sidetrack him.
Yeah.
You asked me how I think society's run, and I said I don't believe it's so globalized because of languages and distance. Like, for example, I've got no idea what goes on in India or China or North Korea or the Arab states. But firstly, I'd love to know how they do things. And I bet it is drastically different to how we do things here. And that is what makes me think that there's not one overruling power who sets the rules for everyone. Well, I guess they could set different rules for everyone, right? But I think on a country basis, there are legislations set by one person who has a finger. So in this group of 100 people, yeah, they've got a finger on the UK. So they say, okay, right, this is going to benefit me. But then someone's sort of got a finger on them. So they're saying, oh, mate, you know, I've got a massive company in the UK. Don't go setting that tax. I'll knock you out. So anyway, they don't set the tax because they're going to get knocked out. And
Knocked out with money.
this became apparent to me when I looked at Boris Johnson, because I realised there's no way that this bloke is making all the calls,
Calling all the shots.
calling all the shots for the United Kingdom during the midst of a global pandemic. Not a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your man just...
Yeah. He is effectively just a puppet, right?
Yeah, he has to be. I mean, unless I've got a very poor judgment of competence, but like, it's not that hard to see that this man has not got the capabilities to make the most executive decisions in
Basically the world.
in the world during one of the biggest dilemmas and troubles. And I think the whole House of Parliament in the UK are just a bit childish. Have you seen in the House of Commons, they like scream and shout and they go, oh, mister. What? Are you children? If you did that in a business meeting, you get like fired. No one would work with you. No one would respect you. It's just weird. They just run the whole thing like it's some sort of game show.
Yeah.
These House of Parliament meetings are like a game show. People all tune in, watch somebody chat a load of wass. They get no work done at all.
And they just cheer like, gosh,
Yeah.
great point, you were back. Just like, what?
And then you've got some dude with like a hammer going, order. And then they use all this jargon like, Your Honour, you know, bloody, yes, I request permission to speak. What?
You know what's like, what makes me find it so interesting is if I could look at this situation unfolding from a non-human point of view, I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I think that's what having a true sort of spiritual awakening is. It's like looking at the human race from a non-human point of view and being like, what the the fuck is going on here? It's like I heard Trevor Rogan say, if you looked at the human race from like what I just said from a non-human point of view, you think what this is the most psychedelic shit I've ever seen in my life. Humans walking around making sound, deciding like how to run a country which is based off some fake currency that they print. Mate, it's actually so fucking crazy for all.
And even like the electromagnetic system of what is society. Like, what is society? It's contracts and agreements to invest emotionally and physically
effort,
energies
energy
into each other.
That's what it is. They're like cells of energy just vibrating. That's what a whole society is. That's what an organism is as well. That's what the universe is right now. Just
cells,
just vibrations.
The UK politics is crazy, and whenever people like take stances on politics in the UK, or
I just laugh at them.
I just
like,
laugh.
Mate, do you really think that your stance on politics means anything anyway? Do you reckon any stance means anything anyway? Do you reckon politics is even like worth considering or thinking about? Like, it's just not, is it?
I mean,
you never get a say, and ultimately, if you did get a say, does your say even make a difference, or is it all just set in stone? Everybody already knows. This is all just drama in the houses of Parliament to make you think, yes, shit is getting done around here, but it's not. Nothing's getting done around here. Everyone is in crippling health, in poverty, slaving away, depressed, living off medication.
Let me give an example.
Your best interests are not heart.
What was my example? Okay, I was at work once, and another guy at my work, a colleague, was gay and dating another bloke who was an MP. And we were talking about politics, and I was like, mate, I think it's all a load of rubbish. And he goes, oh, nah, but look, if anyone knows how to fix movie has stopped recording automatically on a Canon 600D, please tell me how to do it, because I need to know. Anyway, this guy urged me to vote. He said, you need to vote. Like, it's so important. And I just looked at him like, mate, we're in two completely different worlds. Yeah. The fact that your mind thinks about those things and adds importance to it is one crazy to me. But I thought, right, let's give him the benefit of the doubt to say, I asked him, why? Like, what's going to happen if I vote? He says, well, your life will change because it will affect the different policies in the town of where you live. And I said, like what? And he says, well, the council tax rate or, the income tax rate. I said, that's not going to affect me on an individual basis, because as soon as somebody changes the council tax for my whole village, everyone's going to adapt to it. And all that's going to happen is the general disposable income is going to go down or go up. And then the prices are going to adjust to affect that. And then I'm just back where I started.
Yeah, nothing individually is going to happen. And if everything happens to an entire society, then it's like, okay, it just resets at a different level. It makes no difference to you individually, because you're competing with the entire society either way.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're all being dealt the same cards, it's still a fair game. It's like, it's a complete waste of time.
And that's why this rule is so important. Save yourself, save your family, then save society, and then save the world. It's got to go in that order.
Yeah.
Because, first you got to compete against everyone else to get yourself out of that situation, then get your family out of that situation. And then you can look to say, okay, guys, what you're doing down there is stupid. Let me try help you. Okay. So
far.
Let's recap. Above society, though, I agree. Above the politics, I think it's the financial industry. I just think, as we said before, the way people control the primary masculine hunter-gatherer urges and primitive design is through this new currency. And they've created a whole industry, subjects of study, businesses around this energy, this fucking currency, malarkey. And it's now the biggest industry in the entire world.
Mm-hmm. You know, what's interesting as well is the development of currency. So currency used to be a fair trade of okay, I'll give you 6 eggs and you give me 3 apples. Actually, that's a shit trade.
Barter.
I'll give you 6 eggs and you give me 100 apples. That sounds more. That sounds right to me. Then they'd be like, okay, well, let's set a general currency using this valuable metal called gold. And then they trade gold for whatever the shop was selling, right? And then they moved it to, I think it started with a certain type of stone, actually. Then it went to gold. And then it went to like coins. And then it went to notes. And basically, they became less and less valuable to make the currency until it became completely free to make, i.e., central banking digital currencies, which is
No, that's not how it happened at all. Well, it's completely factual.
go on.
There was something called the gold standard. So the currency, fiat currency, was a number, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4 equated to a certain amount of gold by weight, right?
Right.
And then in the 1960s, fact check, 1931, Britain left the gold standard. They removed the gold standard. So now they said this 1, 2, 3, 4 no longer equals this same way of gold. This is an independent measure now, and it's got nothing to do with gold. Left the gold standard.
Mm-hmm.
The US did it in 1971, 40 years later.
Right, so that's going from gold to the currency we have today. Notes.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, but that's like what I said.
no, because you had notes, but 20 notes equals 1 gram of gold. But now 20 notes just equals 20 notes, and it's got no relationship to gold.
Yeah, but they basically made gold a product, right? That you could essentially buy. You know what I mean?
No, because you can still buy gold.
Yeah.
But
That's what I'm
it had a
saying.
pegged price before. So it was fixed in this price. But now the price of gold fluctuates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, okay. But anyway, currency developed, right? To the point where it was worth less and less value. That's what I'm trying to say. To the point where it cost 3 pence
Well,
to
that's
print this
inflation.
note. They just hitting it, Max. It costs 3 pence to print this note, and this note is worth £1.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to say is they are trading something that has less and less theoretical value for the same thing. All right. So you used to trade gold to buy those 6 eggs. Now you trade a currency that's in the sky, numbers written on a screen, right?
Oh, so you're saying the intrinsic value of the note
Yeah,
itself
the actual physical thing.
from a cost of production standpoint.
Yeah.
It's never been like that, though. No one's ever valued a coin on how much it costs to make the coin. You value the coin on what you can do with the coin, what you can buy with it. Same with the note.
Yeah, but originally you trade stuff. So
Yeah.
obviously that had value, right?
Well, because it was a middleman metric. It was a way to store. It's called an IOU. So instead of me giving you 6 eggs now and you giving me 10 apples now, I'd instead give you a note, and they called that an IOU. So you're going to give me these 6 eggs now, and I'm going to give you this £20 note. This £20 note acts as an IOU, so you can come back to me with that £20 note in the future and buy something from me. It's like a debt in a way.
Right, okay.
And what you're saying is when money became less valuable was when inflation started happening. Inflation only started happening because they removed the gold standard. So the value of money was no longer fixed to a non-renewable source. So that when they print more money, there's more money available, and they say there's £100,000 in society, okay, and there is 10,000 apples. That means if that was the only product, each apple would be worth £1,000. However, if you now increase the overall amount of currency in the society to £200,000, you still got the same amount of apples. Therefore, the price has to go up to £2,000 in order for there to be a fair market equilibrium.
For the value of the apples to stay the same.
Yeah. But the value, the price of the apple's now gone up.
Yeah.
But nothing's changed about the apple.
Yeah.
So that's how you get inflation.
Mm-hmm.
But for the guy who had £1,000, he can't buy that same apple because they've introduced £100,000 and they've only given it to half a society, say. So now he's been wrecked by inflation.
Mhm.
And that's pretty much what they're doing all the time to everyone to keep them controlled. So you have to keep working and you never make enough money to set yourself free because they're always printing more and devaluing what you have.
Unless you have assets.
Unless you have assets like an Apple,
Yeah, yeah.
because that goes up as you have more money.
Product. If you have something that's worth actual value, that's going up in value due to inflation, then you're sweet. But if you ain't got the product, you just got a bit of money, and your money's becoming less valuable.
You're bamboozled, mate.
You're
Yeah,
fucked.
absolutely. But that's why I like crypto, because crypto's cap. They have market caps, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you can only have 2 trillion Bitcoin. I don't know how much it is. 2 billion Bitcoin, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you reach that market cap, it's fair game there. Then it is what it is.
Yeah.
No more inflation, which I think is sexy, bro.
Can I not just change the market cap?
Apparently they can. I think someone said somewhere they can.
Because technically, you'd have to have a market cap to be able to value the crypto, right?
Yeah, I see.
Or it would have like some sort of variable inflection on it. You know?
It'd be amount of Bitcoin in circulation multiplied by the price per Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you had an unlimited market cap, then there'd technically be no way to.
Yeah, that's how you get fluctuating prices and inflation. But when you do have a market cap, once you reach that market cap, the price stays fixed.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is sick, bro.
Mm-hmm. Right. We are completely going off subject here. I mean, it was interesting. Economics lesson with JT.
Oh, yeah. We may not be professionals in psychology and psychiatrics, but I've got a fucking degree in economics. So say something.
I'm just a professional in everything.
You asked me, what was above politics? And I said, what was above politics is finance. And for that exact reason, finance runs absolutely everything. And because of this money printing method, they've got everybody in this like delusional state chasing something that doesn't even exist and has no value.
Very smart.
But then there's one more power that I think equates to it. And that is armed forces.
Yeah, true. When there's still the infliction of physical violence, which is extremely high tech at this point, then there needs to be other high tech physical defenses.
Yeah.
Because like you can be a billionaire, but if someone can still knock you out, then your billionaireness has no worth. Right?
Yeah.
Same as goes for countries. If there's an extremely strong, powerful, as in physical country, and there's an extremely rich country, as long as these still have the attacking forces of the rich country, then they're going to be able to invade and take over and impregnate all the women.
Yeah.
So there's still a physical element there with the armed forces. However, it's very like, what's the word? It's all like, it's constantly on the fence. Like everyone's scared to do anything.
Yeah.
If they do, like the threat of like nuclear weapons and like the ability that these countries have cause complete chaos.
Let's just wrap up. To finalize, at the top, from my perspective, there are 100 X amount of people with influences over corporations, nations, geopolitical parties, and banking systems. Yeah. And I think the top two are the people involved in finance and violence. I think individual political systems are complete malarkey and a puppet show for these people to push their message. At the top, there are people in between, such as Big Pharma, maybe, right? Maybe they've got a big say. However, if the finance guys say Big Pharma have got to do something, they're likely going to do it. Same if the violent people do it.
Yeah. And there's sort of rankings when it comes to what is most valuable: finance, violence, and then like medicinal. You know what I mean?
Maybe that's the hemp. I'd never thought for that.
Well, ultimately, it's controlling the people, right? So
Yeah.
People are in bad health. Well, let me just do, before we wrap up completely, I find when I went to Fiji, it's a third world country, right? It's a poor country. And in poor countries, they place a greater value on their people's health, people's well-being, people's like overall collaboration, right? because they need strong families. They need that nuclear family. The reason they need that is because they're a poor country and they don't have the wealth to, make sure they're powerful enough to defend themselves.
Mm-hmm.
However, in extremely rich countries, it's the other way around because they want their people to be as weak as possible. They want their people to have crippling health so that it builds up the overall wealth of this very powerful country, because people they're gonna have addictions to like alcohol, bad food, and those bad food addictions are gonna put them in bad health, which is also gonna profit off the pharmaceutical industry, and basically all this creates wealth for the country. So it's sort of like a juxtaposition. If you want better health and a happier life, you're genuinely probably better off being an everyday citizen in a poorer country, is what I'm trying to say. That's what I see. When I went to Fiji, a very poor country, but everyone's so nice. Everyone gets on so well.
Interesting.
And everywhere you went, people were saying hi to you. They're like, bula, which means like hi in Fijian. I don't know. So everyone's proper nice to each other. Everyone's like works together there's a lot of religion. There's like, everyone's kind, basically. And everyone gets on well. Everyone's in good health. Everyone does sport. However, in this country, polar opposite. Everyone hates each other. Like, no one really says hi to each other. Like, if you needed to ask someone for directions, they'll probably just blank you. It's the same theme in those more powerful countries compared to less powerful countries. Just thought I'd highlight that. Anyway, got anything else to add?
No.
I have been O to the motherfucking B.
And I've been JT to the supreme motherfucking T. Over motherfucking A.